Hello students, welcome to CS Academy. In this session, I will explain elaborately about what is the exact meaning of neutral axis in bending theory and what is the difference between neutral axis and centroidal axis. Okay. To understand the physical meaning of neutral axis in bending theory, let us consider one beam like this. I am considering one beam like this, and the ends of this beam is supported by two supports. And let us consider this is end A and this is end B. Okay, and here I am applying some external load like this at the center. Let us consider the point C. Okay, because of this load W which is acting at the center, the beam will deflect like this. Okay, let us consider this is one beam I am considering. Okay, if I am applying load here, these two ends are the supports, and I am applying load at the center, the beam will deflect like this. Okay, the beam will deflect like this. Yes or no? See here, the beam will deflect like this. Okay, I am showing here how the deflection of this beam taking place. Okay, and the deflection of the beam taking place like this. Okay, the ends will not as a vertical direction, like it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. And see here how the deflection taking place whenever load is applying. And here now I am considering one axis which is passing through this center like this. Let us consider that is N. Okay, and here similarly I am considering an axis which is similar to this one, that is N dash. Here this is end A and this is end B. Okay, the top surface of this beam is compressed. Yes or no? The top surface of this beam is compressed, and those stresses are called compressive stresses, that we can consider it as a negative. Okay, and this bottom surface which is a tensile nature, okay, that become tension. The tension nature, the tensile stresses are considered as a positive in nature. Okay, the top surface is getting compressed and the bottom surface gets tensile. Okay, these two like this. And here to become this beam is like this, we can also apply some bending moments at the ends like this. Okay, bending moments we can apply like this, M and M. Okay, and here let us consider this is the length of the beam L. Okay, and here if you see from the top to the bottom, the values are going to change from negative to positive. If you see from bottom to top, these values are changing from positive to negative. Yes or no? Here to understand this one clearly, I am taking one horizontal and vertical axis like this. Horizontal and vertical axis like this. Let us consider this is the y-axis and this is x-axis like this. And here I am taking some points like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. Here if we go from the -2 to the positive, okay, at some point the values are becoming 0. Yes or no? If I am going from the negative side to the positive side, that is negative axis to positive axis, the values are becoming 0 at certain point. Yes or no? Like that similarly here, if we move from the negative to positive or positive to negative, at certain point these values, these stresses are becoming 0. Okay, these stresses are becoming 0 at certain point. Okay, whenever these stresses are 0, then strain also will become 0. Okay, whenever stresses are 0, that strain will become 0. At this condition, there will be no any deformation. Okay, there will be no deformation. Those planes are called neutral planes. Neutral planes. That is, this plane which is in neutral in position, that is neither stress nor strain. Okay, it is subjected to neither stress nor strain. It is in neutral position. So that's why this plane is called neutral plane. Okay, this plane is called neutral plane. And here the length before applying this load, that is Ln is equal to length after the deformation, that is N dash. That means the plane which is present passing through this centroid where the stress and strains are 0, that plane is having equal length before and after applying the load. Okay, that's why I am considering this Ln equal to Ln dash. Okay, here the axis, here the exact meaning of neutral axis I am telling here, please listen carefully. This is the neutral plane. Okay, to understand this one clearly, I will take one experiment here. let us consider this is the beam like this. Okay, it is the beam like whatever we take here, and if I am applying a load here, the beam will deflect like this. Okay, the beam will deflect like this. Okay, here if you see from the top to bottom up to certain point, these planes are get compressed, and from the bottom to top, if you see, these planes are get tensile in nature. Okay, so if you see in this beam here, let us consider this bottom, this is the top surface like this, and these are the bottom surfaces like this. Okay, this total top surface are getting compressed. Okay, this total top surface are getting compressed. If you see the bottom surfaces, these total bottom surface are getting tensile in nature. See here, see like this, yes or no? And the one plane which is in between this top surface and bottom surface, there is one plane. This is the plane where exists stress is 0 and strain is 0. Okay, there is exists stress is 0 and strain is 0. This plane is nothing but a neutral plane. Okay, this plane is nothing but a neutral plane, and the axis which is passing through this plane, that is axis which is passing through this plane is called this is neutral axis. Okay, neutral axis. To analyze to understand simple, I took this example. Okay, I think you got the point. And here if you see definition of this neutral plane, that is the plane which carries zero stresses and zero strain. Okay, zero stresses and zero strain. These planes are called neutral planes. Okay, neutral planes. Here neutral in the sense that here it is maintaining the neutrality, that is stress is 0 and strain is 0. That's it, nothing is there in the neutral. Okay, neutral in the sense that it is a stress is 0 and strain is 0, and the plane which is carrying this zero stresses and strains, those planes are called neutral planes. That's it only. And here the neutral axis means the axis which is passing through neutral plane. Okay, the axis which is passing through the neutral plane is called neutral axis. That neutral plane is called neutral axis. Okay, and this is the total about the neutral axis and the neutral planes in the bending theory. Here what you have to understand means here this is the beam, we are applying load here. Okay, sometimes what will happen at this case there may be some shear. Yes or no? The shear in the sense that like this. Let us consider this is the beam. We are applying load here, and there may be a chances of shear here. That shear is like this. Let us consider this is A, B, C, and this is A, this is C, and this is B, C. That means to analyze this one, I am considering this one. Let us consider this is the total beam what we took. Let us consider this is the total beam what we took here like this. Okay, and whenever I am applying load here like this, okay, what will happen? The beam will shear like this, will shear, see here, will shear like this, will shear like this, like this. Okay, this is a part 1, this is part 1, and this is a part 2. Okay, the beam will shear like this. Okay, like this. Okay, I think you got the point here. And here in bending theory we just took one assumption that there is only bending stresses and there is no any shear stresses. Okay, this is the assumption in bending theory. Okay, and I will make one separate video for the assumptions clearly. You can watch my next video. And this is the assumption in the bending theory. Okay, and now we will see the differences between the centroidal axis and neutral axis. Before going into that one, here if we draw the bending stress distribution for this beam, here we know the bending equation m by I equal sigma by y equal E by R. Okay, here y is nothing but let us consider this is the axis which is passing this is neutral axis like this. From the neutral axis to the top surface or neutral axis to the bottom surface, we will consider the distance as y. Okay, and if you see the relation between the stress developed in this beam and the distance from the neutral axis, these two are directly proportional. Okay, bending stress is directly proportional to the distance from the neutral axis to the top surface or bottom surface. to the top surface or bottom surface. Okay, here as the distance is increasing from the neutral plane to the top surface or bottom surface, the bending stresses is going to increase. Okay, this is the bending stress. So here I am drawing one neutral axis like this. Okay, at neutral axis, and here at neutral axis y is 0. Yes or no? Because this y is nothing but we are taking from the reference, that is from this point. Okay, from this line. From here, as y is 0 at this neutral axis, here we are taking a 0 stress. Okay, let us consider this is one vertical line like this, and here we are taking a 0 stress. Okay, as we are moving from this neutral plane to this top side, what is happening? The bending stresses are developed, that is the compressive bending stresses, compressive stresses. These are the tensile stresses. Okay, here compressive in the sense that you are taking negative, and tensile in the sense that we are taking a positive. Let us consider negative stresses are in left side and positive stresses are in right side for this vertical line. And here these bending stresses are changing from the position from the neutral axis to the top surface, as it is varying linearly, that is a power 1. Okay, if power 2 it is a parabolic, and here y power 1 is now. So for that these bending stresses are changing linearly from the neutral plane to the outside. Okay, so that the linear variation I will represent like this. Okay, these are the bending stresses that is compressive in nature. I am taking the left side. And similarly, if we come from the neutral plane to the bottom surface, these planes are getting tensile in nature. The tensile we are considering positive, so that and here the variation of this bending stress is linear with the y, so that I am considering linearly variation like this. Okay, like this, and these are in tensile in nature, that's why I am taking into the right side. This is the bending stress distribution for this beam which is applied external load, that is W. Okay, and here if you see the differences between the bending stress and the shear stress distribution, let us consider one cross section of this beam is rectangular like this. Okay, and if I draw this bending stress distribution for this cross section of rectangular, like this is width b and depth d, and the bending stress distribution is like this. Okay, that is at neutral axis bending stress is 0. I told before bending stress is 0 at neutral axis. Okay, this is a bending stress distribution. Okay, and if you draw the shear stress distribution for this cross section of rectangle, this is like this. Okay, this is like this, and here if you see at the top or bottom surface of this bending stress distribution, these are maximum stresses are existing at the top and bottom surface. That is, bending stresses are maximum at top and bottom surfaces of the cross section beam. Okay, this bending stress distribution is maximum at top and bottom surfaces of the beam or cross section. If you see the shear stress distribution, that is tau equal to Fa y bar by Ib, from this we will distribute this one. If you see at neutral axis, this is the neutral axis, this total is neutral axis. If you see at neutral axis, the tau is existing maximum and the bending stress is 0. Yes or no? This is at the neutral axis. If you see at the top and bottom surfaces, bending stresses is maximum and the shear stresses are 0. Tau is 0 and tau is 0. Okay, that is here at the center, at the neutral axis, the total stresses, that is the total stresses are distributed as a shear. Before I told you that, see here, this is the beam, like shearing action taking place at the center. Okay, so that all the shear stresses are carried by this centroidal axis, that is the neutral axis. That means this is the center. Here all the stresses of all the shear stresses are carried by this centroid, and all the bending stresses, that is compressive and tension, are carried by this top and bottom surfaces. Okay. If you see for railway tracks, we will use I sections. Yes or no? For railway tracks, we will use I section, because I is nothing but a moment of inertia. Okay. For I section is the I moment of inertia I. For I section, moment of inertia is maximum. Okay, so that we are indicating this moment of inertia as I. Okay, remember this one. Many students don't know why we are indicating moment of inertia with the letter I means I section is having a maximum moment of inertia, that is the strength of the beam is denoted with Z, that is the what? This is the section modulus, that is nothing but of I by Y. As the moment of inertia is more, the strength of the beam will be more. So that the I section is having the highest strength and highest moment of inertia, so that we are indicating this moment of inertia with the letter I. Okay. Here if you distribute shear stress and bending stresses for this I section like this, the bending stresses are distributed like this. For any section, bending stresses are similar only, like this only. And for this I section, the shear stress are distributed like this, shear stresses are distributed like this. Okay. And this is the neutral axis, this is the neutral axis, this is the neutral axis. And here for any section at neutral axis, bending stresses is 0 and the top and the bottom surfaces are having maximum bending stresses. Okay. If you see here at centroidal axis, at neutral axis, it is having a maximum shear stress at the top and the bottom fiber planes. This is tau equals 0 and tau equals 0. That is, in railway tracks, the shear stresses are, this is the web, this is a flange. Okay, this is a flange. Top and bottom faces are flanges, and this vertical face is nothing but of web for the railway track. Here, in the exam they will ask a question like this. For I section, the shear stresses are carried by what? For I section, shear stresses are carried by dash. Option A, web. Option B is a flange. Option C, both. Option D, none of the above. Like this they will ask. If we see here this distribution of the shear stress, at the neutral axis, the total shear stresses are carried by this web portion. Yes or no? See here. This total shear stresses are carried by this web portion. That means in I section, shear stresses are carried by the web portion. Okay. In I section, the bending stresses are carried by, these are the bending stresses. Okay. These bending stresses are carried by these flanges. Okay. In I section, bending stresses are carried by dash. Option A same, web. Option B flange. Option C both. Option D none of them. Here the bending stresses are carried by the flanges. Okay, flanges. These are the flanges, and the flanges are carrying the highest bending stresses on the top and the bottom surface. But the shear stresses are 0. Okay, this is very, very important analysis, and you can't get this analysis in any book. Okay, please note this point is very, very important. And the next we will see the difference between the neutral axis and the centroidal axis. Okay, let us consider, to understand the physical meaning of the differences between these two. I will consider one example like this. If you see, let us consider this is the beam. I am applying a load like this and deflection like this. Everything we studied before this one. And here, let us consider, we will calculate a centroid of this plane or a solid body like this. X bar equal to a1 x1 plus a2 x2 by a1 plus a2 like this, and y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 like this. We will calculate all these formulas, and if we get some centroid at like this here, let us consider this is the centroid. Centroid is not on this plane. Let us consider this is a solid body. Okay, it is present at the center somewhere inside. Okay, this is present at this center. Okay, and here what is the exact meaning of centered axis means? See here, the axes which are passing, any axis, the infinity number of axes. Okay, the axes which are passing through this centroid like this. Let us consider this is one axis, 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 this is like this. Any axis, infinity number of axes will pass through this centroid. All these axes which are passing through centroid is nothing but of centroidal axes. Okay, all the axes which are passing through centroid is nothing but of centroidal axis. Okay, if you see neutral axis, whenever we are applying some load and the beam is bending like this, okay, and somewhere the stresses and strains are equal to 0, and this plane is nothing but of a neutral plane, and the axis which is passing through that plane is nothing but of neutral axis. Okay, for each and every plane there may be only one neutral axis. For each and every solid, there may be infinity number of centroidal axes. Yes or no? That means here what you have to understand means, okay, any neutral axis may become centroidal axis, because that neutral axis also somewhere it is passing through the centroid of this body now. That neutral axis somewhere it is passing through the centroid of this body, so that sometimes that neutral axis can also be called as a centroidal axis. But all the centroidal axis we cannot call them as a neutral axes, okay, because there are infinity number of centroidal axes are there, but all the centroidal axis cannot call it as a neutral axis, but only one centroidal axis we can call it as a neutral axis. And that neutral axis itself, because for each and every body there is a one neutral axis, and that neutral axis will call it as a centroidal axis. Okay, I hope you got the point here. All the neutral axis, that means for each and every body there is a one neutral axis. That neutral axis we can call it as a centroidal axis, because that neutral axis somewhere it is passing through the centroid of the body, so that fortunately that neutral axis is becoming the centroidal axis. Okay, but if you see the centroidal axis, there are infinity number of centroidal axis for any body, and we can't call this all the axes as a neutral axis. That is the difference between these two, neutral axis and centroidal axis. This is also very important. You cannot find these differences between these two in any book or any social media. Okay, so please note this and please remember the differences between neutral axis and centroidal axis. Okay, I hope you got the point, differences between the centroidal and the neutral axes. Finally, we discussed in this session the neutral axis and neutral planes in the bending theory, and how the bending stress is distributed in this beam when applying the external loads, and what is this variation, and what is the differences between this neutral axis and the neutral centroidal axis. And we discussed some differences between shear stress distribution and bending stress distribution like this. And for railway tracks, how this bending stress and shear stress is distributed, we discussed here. And some important questions like what is which portion of this I section carries a shear stress and which portion of I section carries a bending stress here. These are two are very important questions. These questions are asked in IES exam, and this is the total about this neutral axis and neutral plane in a bending theory. I hope you got the point here, and this is the very best explanation, and you can note in your notes. And please subscribe, share and like my channel. Thank you for watching my video. Thanks a lot.